and she had to lay it off. She lay it off for the simple reason she was bringing bottles of cider and cans of beer and that into the room. And then when she was on her break, she was having them. Loads and loads, I think. But our friend Maureen, our friend Maureen's going to see if we can get a two-bedroom house. Different cheap. Stephen will. I told you about what mum says. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's only them two at home. I mean, they've got a three-bedroom house. There'll be nothing to stop them. So it's been, you know.
And welcome. Welcome to Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. This was one of my most favorite games as a kid. We'll jump straight into this stream with Mythological Madness.
No, I haven't either. If you what you hate doing, you want to go on the rain, that's good for you, but I changed your mind about asking Stephen about this thing.
As you can tell, Mythological Madness is based on an island. An island that has the shape of not quite a starfish.
You may get the base because it's in two different parts, isn't it? I don't know. We never know what they tried yet.
In this video, in this live stream, I will aim to build a roller coaster on this island that beats all others. This is the project of the hurricane.
She's got a few cards. I just know it, get one for you and one for Lavina. I'll let you get your hand, I'll just see what's what like what you bought sort of thing. And so I can know when the convention is over there, just go from. You would do it.
This game I am currently playing is, as of today, almost 12 years old. It was released in 2002 by Atari and Infogrames.
says, I was going to do the washing, do you know Vince? I says, well, I says, that's changed it. And I says, I'll not take the washing now. He says, washing? How the hell am I going to get this out?
As you can tell, roller coasters for a start are probably the best rides you can build in this game. But you do have to be very careful when planning roller coasters, when building them, as your enemy when building roller coasters is G-forces.
You come downstairs. Hurry. Hurry.
G-forces are good for boosting excitement ratings, but boost them too much, make a ride too insane, and you will find guests will never ride them. They will have thoughts like, I'm not going on X ride because it looks too intense for me, or just looking at X ride makes me feel sick. Those kind of thoughts. I have had guests. I have had guests complain on many occasions that my rides were too intense as a kid. But over time, my rides have become, well, not perfect by a long shot, but I do try. See this part where my mouse is showing now? You really want to kill off as much lateral G-forces as you can. You really do want to have banked turns. Only certain majority of roller coasters in this game will let you build banked sections. There is a handful of roller coasters in the game which don't let you build banked sections, such as steeplechasers, side friction roller coasters. But apart from that, you can build banked sections in virtually every roller coaster you can design, although most banked sections will reduce lateral Gs by by a considerable margin. The lateral Gs you're always aiming for, the magic number is less than 3. Any more than 3 and you may as well just rip the ride down and start from scratch. I know it'll make you feel like you've wasted time, but this game does have a tendency of throwing you false spawns. It'll make you believe that a ride looks absolutely perfect, but in actual reality, the stats can make you sometimes cry. I've actually, on more than one occasion, had to tear a ride down because the stats were so bad. The ride looked perfect. The ride looked like any sort of civilized theme park ride. Although Rollercoaster Tycoon said no. And here we go. Test of the Hurricane. Will it work? Possibly not. Where it doesn't, we can go back and change it later. Or we can go back and change it now. I've used a cable lift here, which is probably the best idea for a Giga Coaster. It's the fastest lift hill in the game. if you don't count using trainers. There is a couple of trainers out there. I'm not paid by them to endorse them or anything, but one trainer that is pretty good and does the job that it's supposed to do is 8 cars per. Um, there is a trainer out there called Son of Beast. Although I've never got Son of Beast to work with my copy. I've only got I've only got Son of Beast to work with um only ever got Son of Beast to work like twice. Um it it's not the trainer itself, it's more to do with um it's more to do with the fact that the trainer was built for the likes of Windows XP. Um, I'll also point out that I have tried compatibility mode and probably all to no avail. Um, there is a way around it I've seen, but I can't get the workaround to work with the trainer. It seems to be something to do with the trainer configuration itself not working with Windows 8, because I am streaming here on a Windows 8 PC. Windows 8 has not liked Son of Beast, although if I pray to things that are all holy in the world, which is nothing, I think. If I pray to all things related to computer gods, I can get it to work occasionally. Although although 9 times out of 10 when I do get to work, the game just decides to do its version of a strop. Its version of a strop is the error trapper. Error trappers are a pain in the actual arse. I have not found a workaround, a patch, or something I can do to the game files to stop the error trappers. The error trapper, I think, was put into this game to stop cheaters. But there is things handy that cheats can do. Such as building realistic looking rides. Rides with transfer tracks, rides with interlocking sections, sections which pass at a distance of less than 10 feet. Because everything in this game has a clearance of 10 feet. Clearance of 10 feet, except for inverted rides. Those have a clearance of 15 feet. It can be a pain in the uh, backside quite a bit. If you are trying to build a ride. That actually looks realistic. Um, I've I've been trying to build. Been trying for ages to build a ride that has that looks anywhere remotely realistic. Although I have tried. Um, this game uses a pretty pretty neat little save system in that it actually loads up a Windows dialog box for you. But error trappers can be pretty annoying. When you try to load up save games with a lot of custom content, such as the Time Machine. This has quite a bit of custom content. Um, I also have a couple of parks with here's another one that has a lot. I didn't make this park, obviously. It was given to me by a person from the Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 forums. It's a pretty neat little park. Uh, as you can see, as you can see, it's a nice. He done a nice job of it. The guy and me done half the work. I for this, the person that made it, the person that made it and me worked together. Um, I I made the palette for the game. I really need to turn having the live stream open and streaming at the same time because it is just confusing me to hell. Hearing what I've just said back to me. But at least it knows, but at least it tells me if this terrible old microphone actually still works. Which it does. I'm happy. It's the microphone here that I'm using is probably good 5 to 6 years old at this point. Still going strong. Oops, sorry about that if you missed anything. Um, I'm trying to tinker around with the settings so the game isn't extremely loud, because even if I turn it down on my headphones, for the likes of you, it's still recording at the sound settings of the game. Well, the sound settings of what I've got volume on Windows. Um, and here is a theme park built in pretty much the back streets of a little city. Um, as you can tell, it's pretty well packed. Um, it's probably one of the most densely laid out parks I've built without having to resort to stacking rides on top of each other. If you want it, I will show you what packing rides on top of each other looks like, although it looks pretty ugly. Um, but yeah, this game was probably one of my favorite ones as a kid. Either that or its first version, Rollercoaster Tycoon 1. Rollercoaster Tycoon 1, you could not get a better park to start off with than Diamond Heights. This is an example of how not to build your park. We have rides stacked on rides stacked on other rides. It looks pretty insane, and that's because it is insane. Like here, we have a merry-go-round with a spiral slide stacked on top of that, a motion simulator stacked on top of it, and a pirate ship. I spin you right round, baby, right round like a circulator, right round, round, round. I know that's not how the song goes. Don't sass me. No, leave me alone. I'm just saying lyrics even if they don't make sense. I've not even bothered naming some of these rides, partly because the park is too full of rides. At this point, I don't think I can squeeze any more rides in, although I might try. Um, the absolute limit of this game is 500 foot, which is quite tall. Um, Although finding room to build tracked rides with a park this full is quite a challenge. Flat rides are easy. Having said that, though, this park is really meant to be crammed. It's not very wide, but also it's very long, but very narrow. And you really have to know what you're doing to cram stuff in here. It's probably one of the most cram intensive parks. No, 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 no. Where are my guests going? Do they not like being crammed in? Man, some my parks I should name the London Underground for the amount of cramming I've done. That said, cramming rides in is quite difficult when it comes to things that go up and up and up and up and up. To the person who's just commented on YouTube, this is Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. It is not RuneScape related because I want it to be. I probably won't ever live stream RuneScape. Even though I have done in the past, once or twice on Twitch. Although personally I find YouTube better for streaming because it uses Google Plus and not a program like XSplit, which just turns things into a laggy mess. XSplit really needs to sort out their program and at least like fix it so it doesn't take up like 80% of a 3.9 gigahertz CPU. Um, I know a few people who, well, I'm following a couple of people on Twitter that do live stream on Twitch, but in all honesty, I find YouTube better. Um, Probably because you don't have to use a program which makes it horrible, jerky, and laggy, such as XSplit. I don't know whether XSplit is not optimized for Windows 8 or 8.1 yet, but I just thought I've had YouTube for longer, so why not use that? YouTube might not be the mainstream thing to stream on, as evidenced as evidenced by a reply from somebody. Um, by somebody who tweeted me that they will never watch a YouTube live stream. Like, why? It's no different to Twitch. I just think YouTube works better for streaming. Here we go. I'm going to attempt to Alt-Tab around this game to load up a trainer. Trainers on this game are very, very unpredictable. So far, so good. As you can see at the bottom, a cosplay trainer has been initialized, which is a good thing. We wanted that to happen. We also didn't want the world famous error trapper to appear. Error trappers are not good by far. And it is raining in the castle. This game has pretty wacky environments such as medieval castles. You can go to things like Robin Hood land. You can even go to Asia. Sorry about this. When you load up a new scenario, it has to go through its checks. What it checks for is basically is everything working fine? And if not, just to hit you with an arrow trapper. Um, Pretty annoying, but also related to the game. I've watched a guide on. I've looked at a guide online how to turn off the arrow trapper, although it involves editing the game's core files, which I don't really fancy doing. And we have a pre-built ride here. Um, this park is like one of the parks where you can just slot pre-built rides in here and there. Just most of them are intended to be put back in this park. I had a little bit of a doozy moment earlier with super glue because my USB stick is falling to pieces. I've had it since college, and that was about 6 to 7 years ago. And well, not 6, 7 years ago. About 4 years ago now. Rides can break down in this game just like any real life park. So you have to go train mechanics. Well, hire them.